Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Nicole and I believe it's day 11. I'm almost starting to lose track. Wow, so today I want to talk about a couple things that I have touched on in previous videos but are circling back to me now in a new way and in a new light. So last night I was reading a book called Your Soul Had a Dream and Your Life Is It. And in that book, there was this section that highlighted how we can live into the questions that we have. And this really sparked something within me and made me look at life in a little bit of a different light. And what the author was talking about was how yes, in life, there's oftentimes these big questions that weigh on us and that we all want to know the answers to, and that we're seeking to really understand and embody for ourselves. But we oftentimes also want someone else to tell us that answer and to give us the map or the route to take that will lead us there the quickest. And that's not really how life works, because even though someone else may uncover the answers to those questions for themselves, their life is going to be totally different than you in your life. So even if they gave you their playbook, so to speak, even if they told you the answers to those questions that you have burning within you, they may not pan out the same exact way in your life. And so one of the biggest questions that I'm living into is how to live a life of meaning, purpose, fulfillment, and abundance, because these are really big topics, really potent themes, but how do we take all of them and live all of them at the same time? I think oftentimes we think in order to be financially well off or wealthy, we have to do something that maybe we don't like, or we have to push through. And maybe that's true, but I'm really curious, and one of the biggest questions that I have on my heart and just in my awareness a lot is, how can I live a life of meaning, purpose, fulfillment, and abundance all at the same time? And after reading this section in the book, I realized it's not about someone else giving me the answer on that, and no one else really can. My life is about living into that question so that I can uncover it and discover it for myself. And from that place, it will have so much more meaning and depth for me, and it will actually be something worth my while. So imagine that all the things that you really wanted in life, all your biggest questions were just answered. Someone else just gave you the answer to them. What would be the point in really living? Yeah, for a while you may have an enjoyable, fun, easygoing life, but I think that most of us would actually begin to crave something with greater purpose. And I'm learning and leaning into the idea that maybe the whole point is for me to go through this process, go through the process of learning these things firsthand, and to allow my life to bloom from that place of embodied knowing and really discovering how I can step into these things in my life one step at a time. And I do believe that it's a lot about healing and uncovering our wounds, our shadows, and even past cycles that we may be repeating due to the lineage that we chose to incarnate in this lifetime. And so all the biggest questions that I have on my heart, I realize that I am living them right now. I am living into those questions. And that's the cool part, is that I am learning through my life what brings me greatest fulfillment, what really lights me up, what feels meaningful to me. No one else can tell me what is meaningful to me, or what is fulfilling to me, or what does abundance even look like for me. We can all have different definitions of these things. And with that being one of the biggest questions that I'm living into, I'm realizing that this right here is the whole point, to live it. And going right along with that, I've also realized that it's a lot about surrendering and really appreciating each step along the way. I was reflecting back to some of the steps that I've moved through in the past and how I had been categorizing them as maybe not working out the way that I wished that they had, all these experiences that I've moved through. And at the same time, they had to work out exactly the ways that they did to get me here and to give me the perspective that I have now. And it's really been building the foundation, and I'm getting little glimmers and glimpses of how everything that I've moved through up until this point has been a building block. And it has been providing me with the foundation that I need to really grow into the version of myself that I can feel within. And it's not about becoming that version of myself overnight. It's about really laying that foundation and living it. And so I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're moving through, you can take this and apply it to your own life. What are your biggest questions in life? And then examine how you may be already living into those questions right now. And can that bring you greater peace? The awareness that you are meant to discover the answers to those questions, and they may be linked to your soul's purpose, but you have to live them in order to really embody them and discover them and harness them for yourself. And from that place, they will have greater meaning to you, and they will have greater outcomes than you could have ever possibly imagined, because now they're part of your story. They're part of who you are and the person that you're growing into, versus just being given something that you don't even have the background to appreciate or to comprehend fully for yourself. And so I'm now becoming a little bit more of the observer and noticing how I'm choosing to live into these questions each and every day. And with that awareness, it takes the pressure off a little bit, because now I'm co-creating my life with these questions in mind, and it gets to be fun and exploratory versus pressured and forced. So I hope that wherever you are today, this can bring some light to whatever you're moving through. I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for day 12.